Quake greetings. It's time for a short lunch breakish video. And I did do a video earlier, but I want to do it again. And I want to focus on Indians who are trying to establish themselves as Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, Indians not taxed. I want to give a shout out to a chief who is the first chief that I knew of on YouTube to make a move as a Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 Indian. Her name is Chief Mimi. We got a chance to talk briefly, I think maybe one or two times. And so that was one of the first Indians that I knew to actually take a stand as an Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 Indian. And I just have never forgotten that. I hope she is still on that path. I am, taking my stand as an Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 Indian. But as a sovereign, I do have an issue. So the thing is, I claim my stand, and then I begin to operate it from that, but then I let it be known that I'm a sovereign. So I'm not looking to be dominated by any court judges, none of them. The Supreme Court technically is the court that is taking the plenary authority over Indians. And the way that works is it is the federal government that created federal Indians, right? So you would basically be bound to federal courts, right? But you're not bound to the state. You see what I'm saying? So from my knowledge, we're federal Indians only are bound to basically whatever the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court is acting like your dictator, okay? There's a problem with that because sovereigns don't have dictators. Who's dictating for the Queen or King of England? Would that be someone that's not them? No, right? So we're not going to change the definition of sovereign. We're going to keep that energy, right, of what a sovereign is when we approach this government. Now, they're going to do all their little tactics to intimidate us, right? Of course. But we will remain peaceful Indians. We don't have a reason to be otherwise. Why? Because we have a standing on this land. And that standing will be returned to us. It's the one thing that's ignored. And that standing gets ignored so that someone else can handle our affairs. We're going to look at a video that just gives a quick look at what is a sovereign. And the thing is, we actually do want to use that term because that is the term that is basically dominating us. We, as American Indians, are being dominated by those who call themselves sovereign. So what we want to do is establish an equal footing, right? We want to let them know that we're just as sovereign as you are claiming to be. Although some of us may want to call it something else, I do think that we have to meet fire with fire, water with water, earth with earth, whatever. So that is why we may want to claim sovereign, because we are sovereign over our lands, okay? Any other sovereign would be sovereign over their land, okay? So what I want to say today is, as you move as an Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 Indian, what you're going to find is what I'm finding right now, but I kind of anticipated it. There is no remedy in this federal system for an Indian that doesn't involve dominating that Indian. So what American Indians need to do is start getting into the habit of stating what the outcome will be. In other words, this federal system, all it knows how to do is to pull jurisdiction, grab jurisdiction, come from a place of authority. I'm the big boss, you are the little Indian, right? I dominate you naturally, right? I don't tell you that it's the doctrine of discovery and not any United States laws, really. It's only the doctrine of discovery that gives them this grand power. But what I'm telling the people that I'm dealing with, that doctrine of discovery has been repudiated. There will be no more dominating the little Indians. Not the little Indians who know. And woo-woo to that, okay? So I just want to speak to those Indians who dare to stand up for their birthright. And I know you're out there. I know of at least one other Algonquin sister, and she has gotten online and spoken of her, issues like I'm speaking of mine. And so it's for Indians like that. Now, lately, you're having all the civilized tribes basically like, come, black people, come. And I saw an excellent video by a sister that says, we good. We good. Keep that same energy you had before. We good. So at the 11th hour now, the civilized tribes are trying to grab us into that. Let me tell you, you don't want no parts of that. Those tribes are the property of the federal government. Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, Indians are not, they are not the property of the federal government. The tribes that are spoken about in the Commerce Clause are most definitely federal tribes. But again, that's a different animal from an Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3. Indian not taxed. The doctrine of discovery no longer supports domination through commerce or anything. And that's what this beast does not want to deal with. It is a beast on our land, y'all. It is a ferocious, ugly, nasty, lying bitch of a beast. And so I just want to throw this word out there. When you feel that you're up against some freaking Goliath, you just hold on to that Constitution. And then when we are heard, we're going to say something about that Commerce Clause. As sovereigns, we have a right to. Sovereigns don't have anybody regulating their commerce except that sovereign himself, okay? Yeah, no, the feds don't like to hear this. I'm sorry. Maybe if you didn't go so egregiously against the Constitution, it wouldn't hurt your ears. I'm a peaceful Indian. I'm a constitutional Indian. And then when you realize that, there's going to be some changes. As a sovereign in that document, I'm going to call for changes. And any Indian would. Because there's something not right. Again, we start off sovereign. We're not taxed. We're not represented. We're not counted in their census. Okay, so I'm outside of your dominion. So then why you keep trying to pull me in? And everything you do to get me to not be an Indian, not taxed, call me an Indian tribe, calling me a 14th Amendment citizen, calling me black, calling me African. All that has to stop. Fraud is never meant to last, okay? And there's quite a number of old asses, shall we say, in Congress. You should know better. Somebody should. So anyway, yeah, there is no remedy in this system. All they do is dominate. All they do is dominate. The remedy is the Indian who stands up and makes the remedy. Because as a sovereign, you can do that. Again, we're going to take a look at a very quick video that discusses what is sovereignty, since, like, the Indians who do the most talking don't have a clue, apparently, what sovereignty really means. Else you wouldn't be talking about voting in elections in this corporation. You wouldn't talk about how much you love your United States citizenship. Indians are not citizens. That's another weird thing. These civilized tribes talk about citizens. Indians are not citizens. Oh, that's right. You're federal and civilized. Or you would be that. Trust me, no Indian wants to join a federally recognized tribe. You don't want to do it. They have nothing to offer you, okay? They now talking about they're going to go to Congress and ask them to. So it was you who had the power to do that, and you didn't do it? Why are you doing it now? It always looked like it was that it was Congress that's doing all of this. But you're saying now that you can go to Congress and put in a recommendation that this is the Cherokee Nation, Iroquois, okay? Or need we say more? The epitome of civilized, huh? Right? Or foreign. Let's just call a thing. So yeah, now they're gonna go to Congress. You don't got no power. Congress is your boss, okay? So you're gonna go to your daddy, and your daddy's gonna agree. Now he's gonna agree because they gotta catch the uncivilized Indians who are waking up and try to grab them into that federal jurisdiction. We don't have to be federal. Indians don't have to be federal. They don't have to be state. They don't have to be international until international recognizes who we really are. So anyway, this is what we're going to say for now. May the ancestors be with those Indians who are in a struggle where they're standing and they're not looking to be dominated. They're just standing. Yeah. May the ancestors shine on you. May the ancestors shine on us. It's looking good, y'all. When you got the civilized tribes begging for blacks to be part of that BS, it's looking good, y'all. They are desperate, okay? You got Africa over there talking about give us some fiat. As I said before, no matter how much fiat you get, you're still going to be poor. Okay? You're still going to be poor. What belongs to what they call Caesar is going to go back to Caesar. That's why Indians really need to, we got to start doing this, the sovereign thing. Sovereigns make their own money. They make their own rules. Okay. We don't want to use colonizer monopoly dollars because those are for colonizer to dominate with. Okay. And the fact that we fell in love with that, it's a problem. We need to fall out of that love and fall back in love with your land. Because once you do that, colonizers are going to have to scatter. Or they can stay, but it'll be under the rule of American Indians. How about that? Which means you shouldn't want to stay. How badly you treat us, to this day, you're still doing it. You're still lying. So you sick your little civilized tribes on us. And you don't think that's a problem right there? Because they're lying. They're still calling us slaves. We own that land, yo. We were not slaves. Like I said before, the United States, they didn't give us two craps about a slave. They wouldn't go through all this trouble if we were just slaves. They wouldn't have to go through all this misclassification if we were just slaves. No, we were the landowners, yo, that were made indentures after those Beaver Wars. Those are the wars. The time frame that those happened seemed to indicate to me that that's where the Algonquins lost. By and large, Algonquins lost during the Beaver Wars, and then the Iroquois took over, and then colonizer got in bed with Iroquois. And all the other Indians, namely Algonquins, became black. But the civilized black Indians had to become black as well to keep the charade, okay? Yeah. You just got to catch it, We had the evidence of a certain judge, last name Brown, that told us that his Indians chose to be black. Okay. Right. So y'all didn't want to be part of the civilized tribe, so y'all just became black and you started promoting everything black, right? Negro colored. Okay. Thank you for telling us. We're not mad at you. We thank you. We thank you for letting it be known. And now American Indians have to choose, make another choice. Because that choice was made for you by civilized Indians who are using the Mongolian tribes as their storefront. Talking about now they want to accept blacks. Just go get those Negroes that said they want to be black and get them to be part of it. Because uncivilized Indians were always uncivilized. They just were put under duress to be black and they didn't know better. We know better now. So thank you for watching. Until next time, be and stay American, so-called Indian.